She pepper sprayed a man in public. What happened next? No one saw coming. She screamed. He didn't move, just blinked. I remember thinking, that's the kind of mistake you can't unsay. Not when the spray hit, not when the cafe gasped. She stood over him, hand still raised. Pepper mist hung like guilt. He blinked once, reached for a napkin, wiped slowly. The coffee was cold now, red hat soaked, paper damp with something heavier than steam. No one moved, not yet. She thought she won. She even smiled. But the camera had been rolling, and the badge on the paper, still drying. He folded it, placed it back, and waited. They didn't know who he was, just an old man sitting alone, same cafe, same time. Every Wednesday, red cap, black coffee, silence. Some thought he was retired, others thought he was forgotten. But Calvin Morgan didn't forget anything. Not dates, not names, not the way people look when they think no one's watching. He used to brief presidents. Now he sat near the window, watching shadows move across concrete. The only difference? He didn't have to report what he saw. He liked it that way. No one asked questions, no one owed favors, and no one noticed the badge-shaped watermark printed faintly on his napkin. The cafe called him Sir. The neighborhood called him that guy with the hat. She called him a problem. First it was a glare, then a comment. Then the HOA notices started to come. Grass length, mailbox color, noise violation for a wind chime. She smiled when she sent them, typed in bold, CC'd everyone. He didn't reply, didn't argue, just showed up. Same seat, same napkin, same patience. The hat stayed red. The silence stayed sharp. And every week she got louder. Like she was trying to provoke something. Like she needed him to react, so she could win on paper. But Calvin never raised his voice. He just watched and waited. She didn't knock. Just opened the gate like she owned the concrete. Clipboard in hand, phone in the other, smile rehearsed. Neighbors glanced, then looked away. She walked past his mailbox, paused, clicked a photo, then again. Angle lower, like she needed the weeds to look taller. Calvin watched from the porch, didn't stand, didn't wave, just one hand resting on the armrest, the other near the envelope, the one with the timestamp. Afternoon, she said, fake warmth, sharp eyes. She didn't wait for a reply. She pinned the violation notice to his door, hard. It wasn't about weeds. It was about the election sign he never took down, the flag that didn't match hers, the silence that didn't answer her noise. He read the notice, folded it once, didn't post about it, didn't text anyone. But at the next HOA meeting, his chair was empty, and hers was at the center. She spoke first, too loud for the room, too proud to read the room. Everyone agrees this is becoming a safety concern, she said. Eyes darted around, a few nods, a few phones lit up. No one objected. She clicked the slideshow. Photos of Calvin's yard, zoomed, labeled, judged. The vote passed. He'd have 30 days to comply, or face fines, or worse. She smiled. Calvin didn't show up, didn't appeal. But the week after, she found something on her own door. A single sheet. No envelope, no signature. Just one line. Your actions have been noted and archived. She laughed, then tossed it. But the paper wasn't store-bought. It had a watermark, same as the napkin. Maybe you've seen something like this. Maybe you didn't say anything, just like the others. That silence stays with you longer than you think. I've felt it too. If stories like this speak to you, stay close. The woman didn't stop. She sent an email. Time, 2:13 a.m. Subject, violation of community grounds. Code section 4.2. Claim, unapproved fencing, deliberate obstruction of HOA landscaping. No greeting, no signature, just regulation numbers and blurry photos, zoomed in from behind a bush. Ethan saw it first thing the next morning. He didn't reply. Instead, he hit forward to one person, Linda Cross, former HOA treasurer. Resigned 2021. Blamed for a budget shortfall she didn't cause. The woman who'd once said at a board meeting, "It's not just about grass. It's about how some people think they own it all." The subject line stayed the same. Ethan added nothing. Just let the email speak for itself. Linda didn't respond, not with words. But the next morning, someone had printed the email and pinned it to the neighborhood bulletin board. 4 copies, laminated, centered. By 9 a.m., the woman was yelling again, calling it defamation, ripping one down, saying it was fake, except one was still up. And this time, a man from Unit 204 stood nearby, holding his phone, not saying a word. The camera had been rolling, again. Ethan, meanwhile, didn't attend the HOA meeting that evening. He didn't have to. He knew which seeds to water, and who remembered how it felt to be pushed out without a voice. That Thursday, the woman filed a formal complaint against Ethan, violation of HOA landscaping protocol, attempted unauthorized fencing, public display of political material. The last one stung, because it wasn't true. The red hat had never left his bag. Ethan didn't contest, didn't show up to the review, didn't say a word, but someone else did. Linda. She brought copies of financial records, old minutes, and one email, time-stamped, traced, with the sender's name. It showed how 3 other complaints had used the same language, same attachments, same metadata. 3 names, 1 source. Then came the second strike. Ethan printed a single sheet of paper, posted it at the community mailbox. No title, no header, just a quote. Residents may not use HOA authority to target individuals on personal grounds. Code 6.7, HOA bylaws, revised 2019. Underneath it, a still image from a security feed, a figure crouching, photographing Ethan's backyard. Time code, 2:11 a.m. 2 minutes before the email was sent. That image spread, texted, whispered, screenshot, and shared. By Friday, the tone had changed. Neighbors who had smiled politely before avoided her eyes. Someone removed her poster from the clubhouse board. A man in running gear muttered, "She's always been like that," but louder than necessary. She confronted Ethan that afternoon, in front of the coffee shop. "You think this is over?" He didn't look up, didn't blink. "I think you already lost," he said. His voice wasn't raised, not even tight, but it landed, harder than any shout. The cruiser pulled up with a soft growl. 2 officers stepped out. Calm, neutral, unaware, yet. Karen waved them down like a hero. "That man assaulted me. I want him arrested now." One officer turned to the man on the ground. Blood-red mist still clung to his collar. Coffee soaked the hem of his sleeve. But he didn't plead, didn't flinch. He simply opened the folded paper from earlier, held it in both hands. The younger officer squinted, then blinked. "Wait, is that a military insignia?" Karen scoffed. "Oh, please. A piece of paper doesn't mean anything. The older cop stepped in, leaned closer. His face dropped. He turned back slowly. "Ma'am," he said, voice tight. "Do you know who this is?" She opened her mouth, closed it again. The officer faced the crowd. "Retired Brigadier General Calvin Morgan, United States Army, Silver Star, 2 bronze." The patio fell silent. Phones lowered, chairs stopped creaking. Karen blinked. "Number? That can't..." "He didn't say that earlier." "He didn't have to," the officer said. "You sprayed an unarmed veteran sitting alone, on camera, in public." She looked around, no support, no nods. Then, Linda, the woman from HOA, holding a printout. "Also," Linda said, calm and steady, "this is the harassment complaint you emailed last night, claiming he trespassed." She turned the paper. "Only problem is, that bench, it's on city land." Karen's voice cracked. "You're all turning this into something it's not." But no one spoke, just one man filming, whispering, "She's done." Calvin folded the badge paper. No smile, no threat. Just looked at her. And for the first time, she looked away. They didn't cuff her right away. No yelling, no struggle, just the sound of a zipper. As the officer reached for his notepad, Karen stood still, hands shaking, but not raised. The patio didn't speak. A breeze rolled in, lifted the napkin from Calvin's table. It landed on her foot. She didn't move. The red hat, still on the chair, still damp. General Morgan didn't pick it up, didn't say a word. He just turned, walked inside, past the counter, to the bulletin board near the register, took out a single tack, pushed one piece of paper into the cork, then walked back out. Coffee stained, silent. Still him? Karen finally looked. The paper on the board, a still frame, pulled from the patio security camera, timestamp, 8:42 a.m., caption below, "In case memory fails." She blinked, then again. A siren echoed far off, closer, and just as she reached for her phone, one officer said, "Ma'am?" She froze. This time, the cuffs clicked. Software clean, no audience applause. Only the wind moving her hair and the wet print of a paper napkin still stuck to her heel. The general was already gone. Just a bench, a stain, and silence. The bench stayed empty for a while. Then one day someone left a folded flag on it, not taped, not explained, just placed gently, crease aligned with the grain. It rained that evening, but no one moved the flag. Across the street, a window closed slower than usual. Inside, a kettle whistled, long, then stopped. Some stories don't echo with sound. They settle in gestures, in how people greet each other next time, in what they choose not to say. Justice, when real, doesn't shout. It hangs in the air, like smoke that didn't come from fire. What breaks a person isn't always force. Sometimes it's being looked at without fear. Some things hold their weight, even when no one's holding them anymore.